Okay guys, so now we brought it in our hind quarter. This is where we're gonna break that hind quarter down and get it off the bone. Now, remember in the little disclaimer clip, I said, I'm not a butcher. Butchers look away. You're gonna be like, oh my God, what is he doing? So anyway, that being said, all of the muscles around that hind quarter, this is where you're gonna get your outside round, inside round, sirloin tip. I didn't study up enough on it to remember which ones are which, but I do know where the muscle divisions are for them. So this is where I start from. So when you look at that quarter, you can actually see those little white lines and they follow along. That's a muscle division, and the division between them is that membrane, kind of like I showed you when we removed the front quarter, right? You can almost do this with just your fingers. You get in between that muscle division and just work it, and there's gonna be the odd little spot of tougher stuff that you have to nip, but you can get in there and separate that membrane almost just entirely with your fingers. So once you get down to a spot like that knuckle, you're gonna have to come around it, obviously. So we're gonna come around that. That's good for the knife. I'm gonna come around there like that, and then we're just gonna kind of work that muscle back. And when you get into a tougher spot, nip it off, like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna keep following those natural lines where you can see that silver skin, or that membrane, excuse me. And we'll just keep doing that and follow that all the way around. When it starts to get closer to the bone, you've got to start removing it. So I can feel the bone there with my thumb. So we'll cut along that bone like that. Get my hand in there without getting my fingers. And we're just going to follow that bone. Like that. Okay. So another important aspect to this is you want to get rid of what we call the silver skin. You leave that on your meat and it's going to be like leather. You won't even be able to chew the stuff. We'll take the rest of the meat off that for burger. And in the meantime, we'll finish separating this one from that one. Like that. And as you work along, it gets easier because stuff moves out of your way as you remove it. So there's one, and then follow that around that bone. And take your time and get it nice and close to that so you're not losing a lot of meat. And this process here took me a while to get kind of good at it, even though I'm still not super good at it. I can get the job done. So there's the next one that comes off, and then you're just going to look for those lines. And when you find those lines, right, that muscle is, like I said, you can almost do it with your fingers. So we'll do that one, get that off of there, get that knife right under that bone, that, take that off, that. Now this is the part right here where you've got to get right up under that hip bone there to get that piece out. So just keep working that away. I'm going to take that off right there above that shank. That. Try to avoid slamming your knife into the table like I'm doing. And then we find that division just around that knuckle. That. There it is. You can see that membrane, that muscle division. I'm going to follow that bone down. That. Right off. So now we've got nothing left but the bone, the leg bone, and that shank. And for the sake of the video, these are all the same type of divisions, these lines, and you can just peel that right off of that lower part of the leg. And you can either just fold it back on itself and make a little roast, or you can grind it up for chuck or for burger meat, whatever you want to do with it. The main thing you want to remember to do is this silver skin, and we're going to do that on all of these cuts. Just take that silver skin off of there, because that's going to make everything tough and not pleasant. So we're just almost like filleting the skin off a fish. Get rid of that silver skin. Okay? Stay tuned. We'll cut up the tenderloins and the back straps, and I'll show you the steaks. I'll just cut them into steaks. You can leave it as a roast. Cut it, make a roast out of it. I like to do, I'm not a big roast eater. I prefer to cut it all into steaks. So that's what I'm going to do with these, and that's what I'm going to do with the back straps and tenderloins. Okay, so stay tuned.